For decades, humanity has looked toward the stars with a vision of building settlements far beyond Earth. Discussions of Mars colonies, lunar bases, and large rotating habitats in orbit are no longer science fiction. They are among the goals of modern space agencies and private space programs. But as soon as humanity imagines a future where people live permanently in space, one fundamental question rises to the surface. Can humans actually reproduce in space? The viability of reproduction, conceiving, carrying, and delivering a child, would determine whether humanity can ever become a truly multi-planetary species. At first glance, the idea seems simple. Humans reproduce on Earth, so why not elsewhere? But the moment we examine the conditions of space, microgravity, cosmic radiation, altered bodily functions, and the absence of Earth's protective environment, the question becomes far more complex. Reproduction is not just an act or a moment. It is a long biological process that evolved specifically under Earth's gravity, magnetic protection, atmospheric conditions, and day-night cycles. Changing any one of these factors may influence reproduction in ways we are only beginning to understand. To study space reproduction scientifically, we must begin with the foundation: how the human body behaves without gravity. In microgravity, fluids shift toward the head, muscles weaken, bones lose calcium, the heart changes shape, and blood pressure redistributes. These systemic changes affect nearly every organ, including those responsible for fertility. On Earth, reproductive organs, hormones, and embryonic development rely on gravity-based cues and circulation patterns. Without gravity, blood pools differently. Hormone cycles may shift, and sensitive tissues may experience stress or altered functionality. For example, male fertility depends on stable hormone production, blood flow, and temperature regulation. These systems do not operate normally in microgravity. Female fertility, which is more complex and sensitive to hormonal rhythms, may also be disrupted. Some studies on female astronauts show irregularities in menstrual cycles during long missions, though the exact mechanisms remain unclear. There is no definitive evidence that fertility shuts down in space, but it almost certainly changes in ways that require deeper investigation. Attempts to study reproduction in space have primarily used animals, such as insects, fish, and rodents. These experiments reveal a consistent pattern. The early stages of reproduction are highly sensitive to microgravity. In some species, fertilization occurs, but embryo development is unstable or incomplete. In others, embryos develop, but with abnormalities in orientation, organ formation, or cellular alignment, issues that gravity normally influences. When rodents mated in orbit, the results were mixed. Some fertilized eggs formed, but normal implantation and development were often disrupted. These findings suggest that humans may face similar biological barriers. Another major concern is cosmic radiation. Earth's magnetic field shields life from harmful radiation, but astronauts outside this shield face constant exposure. Radiation can damage DNA, disrupt cell division, and interfere with fetal development. On Earth, pregnant individuals are protected by atmospheric and magnetic layers that limit exposure. In space, especially on missions to Mars or beyond, radiation levels can exceed safe thresholds. Even if fertilization and early development could occur, high radiation may increase the risk of miscarriage, congenital defects, or long-term health consequences. The next question involves the mechanics of conception itself. Would two bodies be able to successfully interact in microgravity? On Earth, friction and weight provide stability. In space, even a slight push sends bodies drifting apart. Two people attempting physical contact would need restraints, suit systems, or rotating environments to create artificial gravity. Without these, the process may be physically difficult or unproductive. While this aspect is often sensationalized, it remains a real engineering and biological challenge. Assuming conception were possible, the next stage, pregnancy, presents even greater uncertainties. Pregnancy is a long and delicate process that relies on constant environmental cues. Gravity helps orient the fetus, supports amniotic fluid distribution, and influences the mother's cardiovascular system. Microgravity causes muscle loss, lower bone density, increased intracranial pressure, and weakened immune function. These changes could place extreme stress on a pregnant body, potentially affecting fetal development or the ability to carry a child to term. No space agency has ever attempted pregnancy in space, and ethical constraints prevent experimentation with humans at this stage. But existing evidence strongly suggests that a pregnancy in microgravity would face significant risks. Birth itself would also be complicated. Labor relies on gravity to help position the baby and guide movement through the birth canal. In microgravity, the process may require mechanical assistance or advanced medical technology. Any emergency, such as hemorrhage, would be extremely difficult to treat in orbit or on another planet. These challenges create a larger question. If humans cannot reproduce naturally in space, can long-term colonies exist? A colony that depends on continual migration from Earth would never be self-sustaining. True settlement requires the ability to produce new generations in space or on another world. This means understanding not only conception and pregnancy, but also early childhood development. Gravity affects bone formation, neural development, and motor skills. Children raised in microgravity might struggle to return to Earth or live in gravitational environments. Their biology might adapt in ways unique to space. Scientists have proposed several solutions. One is the use of artificial gravity through rotating habitats, which creates centrifugal force similar to Earth's gravity. This environment may support normal reproduction, although no experiments have validated this in humans. Another solution is advanced shielding to protect against radiation. Large underground habitats on the Moon or Mars could provide better shielding than orbital stations. Assisted reproductive technologies might also help circumvent obstacles. In the future, humanity may rely on artificial wombs or controlled developmental chambers for safe gestation beyond Earth. These ideas are far from realization, but they reflect the scale of innovation required. Despite all these concerns, the question remains essential. If humans want to establish permanent settlements beyond Earth, reproduction in space must eventually become possible. Studies on animals and preliminary research on human physiology show that while the obstacles are significant, they are not necessarily insurmountable. Reproduction is a biological process shaped by environment, and like all biological systems, it may adapt. But adaptation requires generations, not single lifetimes. The path to humanity reproducing in space may involve controlled environments, artificial gravity, medical interventions, or new technologies not yet invented. In many ways, this question, can humans have babies in space, is not only biological but philosophical. It asks whether humanity is meant to stay on Earth or expand far beyond it. If reproduction cannot occur naturally in space, our species may remain bound to one planet, limited by Earth's environment. But if we can solve this challenge, humanity may one day spread across multiple worlds, each shaped by the children born there. This leads us to the central unknown. Is human reproduction in space fundamentally impossible or simply difficult? Do we need gravity to create life, or can technology and adaptation bridge the gap? And if a generation someday is born in space, how will they differ, biologically, culturally, emotionally, from those on Earth? What does the future of human life beyond Earth truly look like? If you found this explanation valuable, make sure to like the video, share it with others who enjoy science, and subscribe to Wiseuse for more clear and in-depth explorations of the universe.